Let's make it like half an hour.
Welcome back. We're on the podcast.
What's up, guys?
This is I'm filling in for Dwer 15. I don't know who that is.
Dr. W15.
Did you go live? Is it live?
Yeah. Today we're raising money in awareness of Cameron's hemorrhoids. That's Cameron.
They're in my butt.
That's Cameron Frentz. His social security number is 682-417-1181.
I only have 2 hemorrhoids. I'm getting it down to 1 though.
Yeah. So we're.
Oh wait, we forgot to do the intro.
We'll play the intro.
Beware, mortals. You're entering the eerie depths of Chokeslam Radio, where expert insider WWE knowledge and secrets are unleashed with thunderous power. Rest in peace. Coming to you live straight from the heart of Death Valley. Here are your mysterious hosts, DRW15 and DJ Big Unknown.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We had an earlier intro that you may have seen. You may have missed it, but it doesn't matter because we're back in the unknown. We're back in Chokeslam Radio. So let's get started. We're here with Big Ched, and I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Yeah. What's up? My name's Big Chet.
Yeah.
I guess I
White
got a
Boy
new name.
Summer.
We're doing White Boy Summer.
White Boy Summer. It's happening.
We're doing that, and by that we mean we're just really giving back to the community. That's what we're
Trying to have a
passionate
good
about.
time.
Yeah,
Being introspective.
Examining structural barriers that that we're responsible
Exist.
for
Within the WWE.
within the WWE.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I feel like WWE is a good place.
It's a good place to
I
start.
feel like they got a lot of diversity.
They do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of.
Well,
They had that championship.
I was saying last night I would like to join the LWO, which is Rey Mysterio's group.
Is
but-
that
Wear a
There's-
mask.
Yeah, but I don't know how accepting they would be.
Well, I mean, Sami Zayn joined the bloodline. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
They were willing to let him be a part of their family, even though he's not, a blood relative. They still considered him part of the bloodline.
True. And he's a part
Mhm.
Filipino too, like myself. So I feel like
Yeah, we could start a.
Ray would like us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
well? This
Maybe
is
you could
like half Filipino
Yeah.
board of.
There's at least
you
half.
could start the half Filipino world order and maybe, have a tag team match or something.
True, us Filipinos could start
Yeah.
that.
the Filipino group.
Yeah.
Mhm. Anyways, we had a really big night on Monday Night Raw last night. We had a lot of great matches. What were some of your favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite matches coming out of last night?
It's gotta be Otis, man.
Yeah,
I was
Otis.
a little
Otis killed
disappointed
it.
to say the least.
Mm,
I thought this time he would turn, but he just
Yeah.
didn't have the heart at
Otis.
that moment. Maybe next
Yeah,
time.
Otis is definitely going through like an internal battle right now. And, I think at the end of the day, he's got to make a decision. He can't keep going back and forth on wanting to help Sammy and wanting to help Chad. Like, I know deep down Otis wants to help both of them. But in some situations, you gotta pick a side. And
true.
he has to, maybe if he started drinking more Prime,
Mhm.
it would maybe the electrolytes would. Well, I mean, maybe you guys have more of a scientific background on this, but how do like electrolytes influence like decision making?
Yeah, I mean, it gets the neurons firing. It's good for the brain and it's good for the body. And I'm sure that Chad Gable's preventing some of the members of Alpha Academy from drinking Prime because he knows that with Prime in their systems, they're they're going to be more ready to compete and to stand up to him, because I think they know what he's doing is wrong, but without Prime in their system, they don't have the confidence to do anything about it. Shout out chocolate pretzels. I know Chase has been showing a lot of snacks. Those are the ones.
I've showed 6 different kinds of
Shout out
pretzels.
Prime and shout out chocolate pretzels.
Dude, I think Prime is bad for you. I think they're gonna find out Prime causes like all cancer.
Yeah.
It's just water and electrolytes, though, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Like, Logan Paul's made a whole career out of like scamming
Name-
his fans for money.
Name one champion that doesn't drink Prime, and I'll name one that does.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go
Exactly.
champion for champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Habib.
Habib.
No, he
John
does.
Jones drank Prime.
True. Okay, so Habib, John
Mighty
Jones.
Mouse.
Yeah.
Tom Brady doesn't drink Prime.
He's retired.
So
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It wasn't
No,
out,
that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
it wasn't out when he was playing.
It was. That's infactual.
Joe Montana probably drank it.
And probably drinks
Along
it
that
now.
line of thought.
Well, he drinks goat fuel, which is the same but different.
Prime.
John
for him.
Krasinski
The guy
doesn't
from
drink
The
Prime.
Office?
Yeah.
He's
He's
not a champion. A champion of what?
He beat A Quiet Place.
He's just a funny guy, too. Kinda
That's a
makes
good point.
Yeah,
True.
that's fair.
Yeah, I know, but anybody can, win something. But, everyone has little wins throughout the day. Like,
you-
What was your win today, Big
Yeah,
Unknown?
name one
I
win.
dominated
Yo,
a couple
look, dude, I'll kick your ass, dude. Don't
That
you
makes me a
dare.
winner, but that doesn't make me a champion.
Oh.
Put this guy.
I just want to
No, we don't need that.
emphasize we
We
do
don't
not
need that
tolerate
negativity
any
in
hate
here.
or
Was it hate
other
crime or something.
Yeah. We do
Luke,
not tolerate
Not
any
against the
hate in the
Filipinos.
comments.
yeah, we do tolerate doxing. Luke lives in Riverside at 1700 Oakland.
No,
Court,
no,
so-
no. We're not gonna do that either. Anyways, what do you think Otis has to do going into next week? Because we know that he's gonna fight Sami Zayn. What do you think's gonna happen? Because we know Chad Gable's gonna be right there watching his every move.
Maybe he should drink some alcohol. That would unlock his truer form.
Yeah,
He wouldn't doubt himself as much. His true thoughts would come out maybe a bit. I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you
It's going to
think?
be interesting because I think we know that Otis needs to hit the worm in order to win.
And there's only one kind of alcohol that Otis should be drinking, and that's our newest sponsor, Beatbox.
No, we're not sponsored.
Lemon-
In fact,
brother.
I'm gonna say that he should not. If you're going out into wrestling, you can't be drinking alcohol. Like that's not gonna help you.
If you want a
It's
drink
gonna-
that you can drive on, Beatbox.
No, I mean going out. I mean that's ridiculous to say because going out into the ring, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready for anything. You have to be at your all time best. And when you're under the influence of alcohol, you might feel great, but at the end of the day, like you're not going to be performing as well. And
Well, I don't know.
that's why these athletes rely on Prime. Like and it goes for other sports as well. Do you see Patrick Mahomes drinking alcohol on the sideline during the Super Bowl?
No, he drinks Prime.
Dude, he definitely drinks
Exactly.
alcohol. Do you see his gut? He's crushing brewskis, dude.
No, but I'm talking about like during the game, because
Was
if you
it
have a drink like Prime,
Or Sean Taylor? Sean Taylor would take a shot before every game. And he was like one of the best safeties ever.
Well, I will say, what's worse, to be under the influence of alcohol or to be under the influence of Chad Gable? That's just a conversation I think we need to have.
Like Chad Gobble.
Chad Gobble is nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish he would blow Otis nuts,
But Carson, this is a serious question. Okay.
yeah.
Is it worse to be under the influence of alcohol or the influence of love?
What's worse?
I think that none of that. I don't think that really, like things like that matter when you're wrestling. You're not worrying about love. You're not worrying about any of that crap. You're worrying about trying to survive.
What are you fighting
in
for
the
then?
ring.
If you're not fighting for love, dude.
You're fighting to win the championship. You think Roman Reigns fights for love? No, he fights
Love of the
because
game,
he's
baby.
there
Love
to
of the
dominate.
game. Love of the
Well,
game.
I will say, what's going on with Liv Morgan and Dom Dom? Is there some love going on there?
Oh,
I know.
It's called a transition, baby.
Yeah.
Look it up.
so I know Dom Dom is in a tough position right now because he has Liv Morgan, who is is the champion right now, and she's being pretty, making some moves that are pretty uncalled for here and
Yeah.
not appropriate for being on live TV or in general. But at the same time, like Dom, he's not allowing it to happen, but at the same time, he's not stopping it.
Yeah.
So it makes him not look good.
Mm-hmm.
It makes him not look good in the end. And I think that if Rhea Ripley is watching, she's not going to be happy, and we know she is watching. So I think that Dominic Mysterio is in a bad situation here.
Yeah, no, he's in a tough spot because as we've talked about before, I think he has daddy issues, which Rey Mysterio has kind of made that a tough situation, and now we know he also has mommy issues because he doesn't have his mommy, and Liv Morgan's trying to become his new mommy, and we saw Dirty Dom. He was kind of trying to push Liv away, but we saw that little smile he gave Liv. She was messing with his hair, so I don't know. He's in a tough spot. We're a little bit worried about him, but that's what we're talking about. Sometimes love can get in the way of wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, Dom is injured right now. Rhea Ripley is injured right now, so this is more like mind games right now. This isn't, this isn't influencing anything right now. But down the line, honestly, this is a bad move because Liv Morgan, she's definitely doing this to try to get in Rhea's head, but Rhea's injured right now, so it's not helping her at all. Like what she's doing right now is only going to bring problems further down the road. And, she's definitely going to regret doing this whenever Rhea Ripley makes her big return, because it's going to happen probably any week now.
well, I think Liv Morgan knows that regardless of what she does now, like Rhea Ripley's going to come back pissed off. So I understand why she's making these moves to try to steal the Judgment Day away from Rhea while she's gone, because
Damn, we got 3 viewers. Who the hell's watching?
she would
this?
rather face Rhea Ripley with Judgment Day on her side than face Rhea Ripley with the Judgment Day still supporting her. So I get what she's doing. And Dom's the easy target because he's had daddy issues before. And there might be a match between Rhea and Liv Morgan when Rhea comes back to see who has custody of Dom. So,
I keep seeing stuff about, we wanted custody of Dominic Mysterio match part 2, which is probably the dumbest thing ever. Like, I guess WWE fans don't know what custody means. It means when you're a parent and you have custody of a child. That has nothing to do with being someone's boyfriend or being someone's girlfriend. Like, This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Stop making comments about this. It's not going to happen because it doesn't make sense.
yeah. Here on Chokeslam Radio, we always emphasize consent and
Doxing.
yeah, no. But, mutual relationships that go both ways. And we're a little bit worried right now that, everyone's, as Carson said, pushing for this custody match. Why is it custody of Dom? He's an adult. He can make his own relationship choices. So
Unless he's like, what's the thing that Britney Spears was in?
a
A censorship? What if he's in a censorship? Like, what if he's like mentally disabled? We lost a viewer because of that.
Super sticker from Luke
Did you get money
Thompson.
from them?
Everyone, make sure to send a choke slam to Luke Thompson for giving the super
Every
sticker.
time
Thank
we
you,
get a
Luke.
Trust me, I'll be
sticker,
sending a choke slam to Luke.
the guest has to do a quick dance or
True. Or showing up.
whoever the guest is on the podcast
No.
has to do something.
Yeah, and considering I'm the host this week, I'm the fill-in host, I think that makes you the guest.
Thank you for the sticker.
Yeah. Wait. We need to redo that.
Who's the other viewer
Okay.
besides you?
Okay, go.
We have a lot of viewers.
You have 2. You had 3 before I said something.
All right. We gotta get back. To because we have a lot to cover and we don't really have a lot of time
Not
tonight.
time for messing around.
But Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is our friend Ilya Dragunov. He comes out here in a suit after this match. You know, we had Braun Breaker versus Ricochet. Everyone knew how that match was going to go. I mean, no doubt Braun Breaker was going to beat Ricochet.
Yeah.
And then freaking Ilya Dragunov comes out like he's going to defend Ricochet from Braun Breaker, and now Ilya Dragunov has a one-on-one match with Braun Breaker next week, which is, oh my gosh, like talk about a mismatch. This is like pretty much the equivalent of when JD McDonough went up against Braun Strowman. You know, things are not going to go good. This is going to be another Cale Dixon versus Braun Breaker match, and he's going to go to, you know, I think the Undertaker might have to show up to take him to, you know, the underworld.
Yeah, well, I saw today on Twitter, Ilya Dragunov posted a picture of himself in the weight room, so I'm glad that he's been listening to us. We know he watches our podcast, so I'm glad that he was finally taking our advice and getting in the weight room. It feels like too little too late, you know. Braun Breaker's been in the weight room his whole life. That dude's an absolute beast. Ilya Dragunov finally decides to hit the weight room 1 week before his match against Braun Breaker. Like, this is a joke. And I'm worried for the guy. I really am, because, you know, we've seen what Braun Breaker can do to people. And Ilya Dragunov is basically the same as Cale Dixon. So I don't know if anyone expects anything different, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really worried. I would recommend that if you have like children, don't let them watch this match. I mean, I wouldn't let them watch WWE anyway, but you know, it's definitely not a show for kids. But yeah, don't let any kids watch this match, because it's gonna be a bloodbath. And you know, I'd be surprised if they even because you know, USA is known to cut some content. They cut out the kiss 2 weeks ago or last week from you know. So USA, they might censor this match, which makes sense, but hopefully, you know, they'll put it up on Peacock someday with like a content warning. But
no, this week is definitely going to be like an 18+. You're going to have to verify your identity and age before you watch Monday Night Raw next week, because we might witness a murder, and Ilya Dragunov, they're going to have to scoop him off the mat after this match is over. I'm surprised Ricochet has gone out there. I've heard that Ricochet is maybe a fiance with the lady who does the announcing in the WWE.
Yeah. Logan Paul was trying to like mess with her to get in his head before their match last year at SummerSlam. So,
I mean, I respect Ricochet for going after Braun Breaker, but at the same time, like for as long as I can remember, I don't remember him actually winning a match. You know, he can never finish in the ring, which isn't a good look in front of your fiance.
I mean, the one guy he did beat was Ilya Dragunov, but I mean, like everyone knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's a practice.
That doesn't count.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I respect him for taking the fight with Braun Breaker, but I don't know if your fiance is sitting right there courtside, ringside, and you're getting destroyed like that. Like, that's just not a good look. He almost got killed out there. So, I mean, Ricochet, keep doing what you're doing, but maybe schedule more Ilya Dragunov matches before you go after someone like Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Ilya Dragunov right now, I would be looking to the Undertaker for help. Like, I understand why he's lifting. Like, that's probably, you know, it's not going to help you, but it's definitely not going to hurt. So I can see why he's doing that. He's probably really nervous, but but getting the Undertaker to help might be good, because that's what Cody Rhodes did for Roman Reigns and it paid off. So I think that this is what Ilya Dragunov should do. I mean, because I don't know what else he's going to do at this point.
Yeah.
Besides maybe just like not show up. But then, I mean, his career is pretty much over if he does that.
Yeah. Well, it seems like he's trying to be all buddy with Ricochet, but we saw what happened to Ricochet, so I don't think Ricochet is going to be a whole lot of help in this match.
Yeah.
You're going to need someone like The Undertaker to really put Braun Breaker in his place. So best of luck, Ilya Dragunov. I'm glad you watched our podcast and decided to get in the weight room for the first time. But yeah, we're praying for you, and we hope that they still air Raw on the main channels despite your match.
Yeah. Another thing he could do is try to pull a Mike Tyson and just say that he has some BS injury that like a couple weeks before the match just to get out of it. But I mean, at this point, everyone knows what's going on. So, yeah. I thought
you meant pulling Mike Tyson and bite Braun Breaker's ear off, which could also be a tactical move. But
that'll just piss him off even more. That would be a bad move in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I want to see that. Speaking of The Rock, I saw he unfollowed everybody on Instagram. He now follows 0 people, which we've talked about it in prior weeks, but this dude is just falling apart ever since running into The Undertaker. He now follows nobody on Instagram. He's changed his entire identity and appearance. He's just, ever since he went face to face with The Undertaker, he's doing everything he can to escape society and just go into hiding. And it's sad to see. I liked The Rock. I thought he was a decent actor and a good wrestler, you know? So
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, he's The Rock, like, you know, he's on top of the world, you know, but he's definitely worried. So, and I'm worried for him too, because one of the things he prides himself on is his nutrition and his physique. You know, he's probably like the most ripped, buff dude like of all time. But I saw he posted a video on Instagram of him. He made basically like he crushed up a bunch of Oreos and like poured syrup on it and like was eating it. And I was like, oh man, this guy's really got to be going through it right now to be doing this to himself. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if anyone saw the new South Park special, but when Cartman, you know, made the big bowl of KFC and poured cereal in it and stuff because he was feeling really upset. That's what that's basically like the equivalent of The Rock eating Oreos with maple syrup on it. Like, he is definitely in a very dark place right now to be doing that. And I'm worried for him. And, you know, this is not because of Cody Rhodes. He's not worried about Cody Rhodes. He already beat Cody Rhodes in WrestleMania. He's worried about The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And who isn't worried about The Undertaker, honestly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as Carson said, The Rock was on top of the world, but if you're fighting someone that's from the underworld, they don't care if you're on top of the world, no matter where you are in the world. The underworld is a whole different animal. So I think The Rock realized that. Yeah, and I agree that, you know, the stuff that he's been posting recently is a little bit worrisome. You know, we still hope that he returns to the WWE at some point. And I know he's scared right now, but we do hope to see him again. But we don't want to see him turn into someone like Sheamus, who can't even wrestle without a shirt on now because of, you know, burger after burger after burger, or in The Rock's case, you know, these weird Oreo, whatever it is that he's making. You know?
Yeah. You know, we've all been there. Like, I've been in a bad spot, and I need to have a 7-Eleven pizza, or else I'm not, you know, I need to eat a 7-Eleven. And, you know, we've all been there where we need to eat something bad, but this is just a reminder to, you know, stay healthy, drink a beverage like Prime instead of, you know, a soda or a Gatorade, and, you know, eat healthy if you want. Like, I know a lot of our viewers are dream of coming to the WWE one day. And that's part of the reason why they watch us, is for guidance on that. Yep. And, you know, you can't be crushing up Oreos and pouring syrup on it like that. Just because The Rock is doing it doesn't mean that's the way to go. So, you know, eat what you know, like you know what's healthy or not. You don't need guidance on that. Like, you you know that you should eat broccoli instead of a Twinkie. So you don't need to pay $100 a week for some nutrition plan online from some dude named Joey Swole or something like that. Like, all you need to do is just eat what's healthy. It's pretty obvious what's healthy and what's not.
Yeah. And I agree. As our viewers know, like they've been watching our show. We've been pretty clear about what you need to do to be successful in the ring. And that's hydrate. That means water. That means prime. You need a little bit of both in your system. Water for hydration, prime for electrolytes and all the other benefits. And then, just being a good dude out there. And, The Rock has made it. He was a GOAT in the ring for a long time. So, he's going through a little bit of personal stuff right now. So it's okay that he has an Oreo syrup shake, whatever he's making. But, for guys like Ilya Dragunov or guys that are just coming up, like you can't be messing around. One guy that I think has made it is Drew McIntyre, but he's still too focused on everyone else except for he claims he wants the WWE heavyweight championship, but we saw on Monday he's too focused on arguing with Michael Cole or his Twitter account and actually, doing damage to his opponent. He had a chance to do some damage to Damian Priest before their match, but he messed that up. And it's just been week after week where he gets distracted by CM Punk or by the announcers or by social media, and, the WWE is where every wrestler wants to go. Like people in the Olympics dream of making it to the WWE, and he's made it there and he's still distracted by all these other things. So it's just sad to see.
Imagine how, mentally disturbing you're going to be Drew McIntyre. I mean, this dude is ripped. This dude is huge.
Yep.
And he's proven himself in the ring. Everyone knows he's probably one of the top 5 guys who are active wrestlers in the WWE right now.
Yeah.
And he should know this, but he's letting the announcers get under his skin.
Mm-hmm.
He's whining about what the announcers say. He's worrying about what people say on Twitter about him. Are you kidding me? You think Brock Lesnar cares what Michael Cole has to say?
Mm-hmm.
No, because he's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's holding Drew McIntyre back right now. And everyone's telling him that, and he just doesn't want to hear it because, I think he likes it. I think he's one of these people who, he likes to have the excuse for why he's not the best. He likes to find all these little excuses and say, oh, that's not why I'm the best. Because then he doesn't have to, win. And it's an excuse to feel good for being a loser. And, he's got to figure it out. And I hope he's watching right now. And if everyone go ahead and send this to him, tweet it to him, because we know he's on the internet all the time. We just want to we don't want you to respond or retweet us. We're honestly trying to help you here because you have a lot of potential.
Yeah. As Carson said, Drew McIntyre, we know you're watching this. We know you search Drew McIntyre on Twitter and on Safari, 50 times a day to see what everyone's saying. So we hope this message gets through to you. We think you're a great wrestler. We do. And we want to see you compete for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. But, get in there, drink a prime and get the job done. All these word wars on Twitter and fighting with the announcers, that doesn't do you any good. And we saw what happened at WrestleMania, and we saw what happened again on Monday night. Damian Priest gets the best of you because you get distracted. So listen to your boys on Chokeslam Radio. We're just trying to help you out, Drew. Yeah. He's got a lot of potential, but he's
another thing I'd like to say is I know Drew McIntyre is probably going to see this. We know a lot of other people, Corey Graves, we know R-Truth watches the show, Dragunov watches the show. So we know you're watching the show, WWE. Next time we reach out to you for a press pass, don't ignore us. Come on. Yeah. Give us the press pass. I think honestly, like, we have been a little bit too critical of Adam Pearce, especially on Monday Night Raw, and we have been critical of Triple H. We're sorry. We're just trying to do our part as journalists and be honest. And we you might not always agree what we have to say, but it's proven in the past that even though our advice is the hard truth, these wrestlers are still listening to it and improving from it. We're not just gonna go kissing everybody's ass and like just telling you what you want to hear, and we're also not going to just hate on you for views, because people like to do that with AEW.
Yep. It's not us.
No. We only hate on AEW for things that we should hate them on. Yeah.
I mean, here at Chokeslam Radio, we pride ourselves on accurate reporting. We're going to review and respond to what happens in the WWE as it is, not how the fans want us to react or anything like that. So we're always proud to talk about the truth as it happens. Whether that might sometimes be hard to hear, whether we're talking about this hacker that still is messing up matches, or whether we're talking about Adam Pearce and Triple H not stepping up and the security teams not doing their job. But I think that's our role in all of this. And I think the WWE knows that we're a big up and coming podcast. So I understand why they're a little bit hesitant to give us all this power and to allow us to come to some of these events, because we do ask the hard hitting questions and we do get down to the business. We're not here to mess around. But as Carson said, WWE, we're just looking to help you guys out. And when we reach out for events like this, we hope in the future you guys will pay us the respect we deserve and at least respond to our messages.
And we had a viewer in the comments say Triple H needs to step up. And yeah, he does. A lot of people are calling this the Triple H era of WWE. I think he's still got to prove it. If this is really the Triple H era, then you need to do something that sets you apart.
Yep.
Because right now, this last WrestleMania, that was extravagant. Everyone's saying it's probably the best WrestleMania ever. But you have to continue after that. Like, that might have been the Triple H WrestleMania, but this still isn't the Triple H era. An era continues on.
Yeah.
An era goes on for at least a couple months. An era's got to be at least a couple years. So, you can't just have a couple good weeks of WWE and call it the Triple H era. You gotta prove it before we start making names for this.
Yeah. And I'll admit that it's not easy, because as we've talked about, Roman Reigns needs some time off, and The Rock, obviously, we've talked about, is in hiding right now. But Triple H, you gotta figure it out. Like, Friday Night SmackDown has been tough to watch. The bloodline is falling apart, and there's not a whole lot that's going on there right now. So I know there's some wrestlers that are hurt, but we want to see some more. We haven't heard anything about Jimmy Uso recently, and Jey Uso's, he made an appearance last night on Raw and announced he's going to be in Money in the Bank, which is big. That's exciting. But like, what's going on over on SmackDown right now? Like, it's a bit of a mess there.
I know. I mean, even on Monday Night Raw, though, I mean, you're gonna be freaking out about Braun Breaker going out there and beating people up like he's paid to do. That's what people are there to see. They're there to watch people get beat up. But then you're just gonna let it slide for Chad Gable. You're not gonna send the security out on Chad Gable. No, you have to let Maxine Dupree stop him. That's ridiculous. You have a whole security team, and you're not even gonna send them out, and they're doing such a poor job to the point where Maxine Dupree is the only person to try to stop him. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, Chad Gable's out of control. We've talked about this time and time again, and the WWE needs to do something about it, because Maxine Dupree ended up having to go on her knees to beg Chad Gable to stop and then getting knocked out of the ring, hurting her ankle to try to stop Chad Gable. So I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know how we're still letting this man show up to main events and just do whatever he wants. I don't know if Triple H is scared of Chad Gable or scared of the Alpha Academy, but it's just not a good look. And week after week, there's just chaos every time Chad Gable shows up, and no one does anything about it.
And this is the third show in a row now, because we found out last night that Chad Gable is going to be facing Sami Zayn at Clash of the Castle in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Gable, as we said before, he is a former United States Olympian, so he represents our country.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be the third point now where we're bringing him on, a globally watched show into another country as a representative of our country, where
Mm-hmm.
he's just gonna cause a bunch of chaos. That's not a good look on, our country as a whole. It's definitely not a good look on the WWE, but at this point now, it's more than wrestling. It's more than sports.
Yeah. I mean, he nearly started a war when we only brought him up to Canada, and he almost started a war up there. He started beef with Australia, who is another one of our allies, another country who speaks English. The last thing we need is to start a war with Scotland, and we know that
Mm-hmm.
there are wrestlers in the WWE that are Scottish. So, we can't be starting all these feuds with other countries just because we send Chad Gable over there. Like, we got to get this dude under control before, another world war starts. Because if I'm another country, if I'm England, I don't really care about England, but if I'm, another powerful country other in Europe, and I see Chad Gable out here, I'm not going to side with Chad Gable. This dude's a menace. He's out of control. So, like, the U.S., if anything starts to happen and people see it's Chad Gable versus whoever, I'm picking the other side. So, as an American citizen now, I'm worried about my own safety because we're sending Chad Gable to these countries, and you never know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good for us.
It's almost like Triple H is doing this on purpose. I mean, we've seen, I don't want to bring up the types of videos that he's had in the past, but he has some videos where he's, making questionable stereotypes about other races. That was a while ago, but I hope that's not the same person he is now. And I hope he's not trying to start all this stuff on purpose, but yeah, I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Triple H we've seen clips of Triple H in the past where he makes, comments about people of other races that are, not the greatest. So I think maybe he's setting Chad Gable as he knows Chad Gable's there to just cause chaos and make other races angry. So I could see why Triple H, likes Chad Gable as this little evil little munchkin that's running around to these other countries and just pissing people off.
Yeah, you know what? I don't really want to talk about Chad Gable that much anymore, especially because we just had a great question come in from one of our listeners, and that is, what current NFL or NBA player would make the next best WWE superstar?
That is a good question. We talked about Brock Purdy last week, might be the NFL equivalent of Lyra Valkyria. So it'd be interesting to see him make a run in the men's or the women's division, wherever he chooses. But he's another candidate that was an underdog coming into the NFL and had to prove himself, had to fight through adversity. And now we've seen that Lyra Valkyria is a star in the women's division. So Brock Purdy, definitely a candidate to make it far in whatever division he chooses to go into.
Yeah, I would say, just bringing it over to the NBA side, I think that Draymond Green would be, we've seen him, sort of hit the stomp. Like, Seth Rollins has that finisher, the stomp. We've seen him hit the stomp on the court. He's proven time and time again that he's got those moves. We've seen the clothesline. We've seen a couple chops, like Gunther. this guy's an athlete at the end of the day, whether you love him or hate him. This dude is an elite athlete. And, he's always that's always going to translate to any sport you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Another dude from the NFL, we may be a little biased. This is the second Niner that we brought up, but he's already made waves in the WWE and WrestleMania, and that's George Kittle.
Yep.
People call him the people's tight end, just like they called The Rock the people's champ.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he could be maybe the next person to fill in that spot for The Rock once he retires one day.
Yeah, absolutely. The people's tight end just has a ring to it where you want to transition to the WWE. You already got a nickname. He's already got the look for sure. Another sleeper pick is some of these WNBA players. I know that Pat McAfee was under a little bit of heat because he called Caitlin Clark a white bitch, if you will. But there's been a lot of beef, a lot of fighting going on in the WNBA. So I would love to see a little crossover there, get a few of those players in the ring to settle that beef once and for all. Because as I said, there's no need for that on the basketball court. Draymond has suffered from it, and I think some of these WNBA players would really benefit from a quick tag team match, just to squash some of the beef that's going on in that league.
Yeah, I know that definitely. Right now, the women's tag team champs in WWE, they're pretty unbeatable right now. Like, there's not really anyone on the roster, but maybe if Caitlin Clark maybe came in and maybe teamed up with another elite female athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a wrestler to dominate in WWE. Like Roman Reigns, our tribal chief, he played football before coming to the WWE. A lot of these people, these guys are athletes. So I think that maybe we might have to start looking towards other sports for these tag team champions to finally be beat.
Yeah. And I mean, as we saw, we all thought that Ronda Rousey was going to be the next WWE superstar because she was dominant in the UFC for a little bit. But she obviously, WWE is a whole nother animal. She couldn't handle it. But as we saw last week, even someone like Sexy Red can be a star in the WWE.
Yeah.
All it takes is some heart and some dedication to the sport. It doesn't matter how good you are as a fighter per se. If you can give your all in the ring, drink some Prime, and just show that you care and you're trying to compete and do the best. Sexy Red's now a star in the WWE, and Ronda Rousey's a nobody. So
yeah,
there's a lot about what it takes to be successful in the league.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were giving a lot of hate towards Shawn Michaels for letting Sexy Red be in NXT, but if it wasn't for Sexy Red, I wouldn't be watching NXT at all. So there's a lot of those superstars on NXT who they've been putting in a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it's NXT. Nobody's watching that. But when you have someone like Sexy Red come on, now they're getting eyes on them. People are finally going to watch the show. And I know that she's going to be hosting the show in the UFC Apex Arena this weekend in Vegas. So that's going to bring even more eyes to NXT. I would never think of even watching that, but since Sexy Red's going to be the host, hey, I might turn it on.
Yeah.
If I have nothing going on this Saturday, I'm hanging out. Hey, I might watch some NXT.
Yeah, I'll admit I don't get many NXT clips on my Twitter or on my For You page, but I got a few of those Sexy Red clips, and I watched them, because that's someone that I recognize and someone that as I said is dedicated to the sport, and I just love to see that dedication in the ring more than anything. So I'm proud of Shawn Michaels for taking a risk there with Sexy Red, and I think it will pay off in the long run. An absolute genius move, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. We have another question from one of our viewers. Do you think Roger Alano would be a good WWE manager?
Do you want to answer first? Because I know Roger Alano better than you, so I want to hear your insight quickly, and then I'll provide my feedback.
Roger Alano is kind of like an expert in strategy. So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, that's going to pay off anywhere, whether it's chess, whether it's the WWE,
Mhm.
whether it's anything, that's always going to be great. As a manager, though, you have to be able to handle some tough situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's proven that. He's
Mm.
proven that already.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think if I was a WWE superstar, I would be happy with him as my manager.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think Roger Alano is the master of matchups. He knows how to pick his guys to put them in the best situation to win. So if I was a WWE superstar, I know he wouldn't schedule me against Braun Breaker or The Undertaker. He would put me in a situation where, I could show off my talents and be successful. However, I have seen him a couple times wearing headpieces, earphones during practices and stuff like that. And that makes me worried a little bit because, while he might be the best at putting me in the situation to win, if I make a mistake, how do I know that he's going to be fully locked in and prepared to yell at me and to make sure I don't make that mistake again,
Mhm.
But at the same time, we've seen Chad Gable, who's over the top with getting in his wrestlers' heads too much. So I think it could be a good balance where he puts me in that situation, but at the end of the day, I gotta prove myself and prove that I got what it takes. And I think Coach Alano is going to do that.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. That's great. Someone who I think would be a great manager in WWE who, has that WWE history
Yep.
is Shaquille O'Neal. Because there's the former women's tag team champions. I like to call them the beatbox girls,
Okay.
or the party girls. These girls, they like to go to EDM festivals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And who's one of the top guys at these EDM festivals? DJ Shaq Diesel or DJ Diesel. So I think if he ever made his return to the WWE, he should probably become their manager or something.
Yeah, I think Shaq's a man of many talents. As we've seen, he can hold it on the basketball court. We've seen him tear down hoops when he's dunking on the court. So we know he's got that strength. So even he's a huge human being. So even just having him, alongside on the side of the ring is an intimidation factor. And now he's expanded into his DJ era. So he knows how to get the crowd on his side, how to get people fired up. So I know he would get me fired up. I know he would get the crowd behind me. An excellent pick, I think, for WWE manager.
Yeah. I hate to change the topic here, but I know we have a lot of viewers on the show right now. We want to know where you're watching the show because we are streaming this on multiple platforms right now. If you're watching, please comment on YouTube. If you're watching on Instagram, give us a comment on Insta. If you're watching on X or Twitter, either tweet us at Chokeslam Radio or, DM us if you don't want to, shout us out like that. But we want to know where our viewers are watching, and we want to make sure you guys are subscribed too. I'm not going to be this dude who's going to sit here and beg you for subscribe, but if you've listened to this show, if you've seen our clips, we're gonna keep it real. Unlike a lot of these shows on WWE, there's not any show like, there's thousands and thousands of WWE and pro wrestling podcasts. There's not one like Chokeslam Radio. Nobody's gonna give you the honest truth like us. So I think we just lost all our viewers with me saying that. So I'm never gonna do that again. All right, but
That's crazy.
Yeah, dang. Maybe they're leaving to leave a comment or something.
Yeah. I think they're trying to find their debit cards to donate us some money to keep the stream going. So we appreciate it. Yeah.
Anyways, is there anything else you want to cover this week?
Let me think if there's anything else. I mean, we've talked about R-Truth in the past, and I just he and the Miz still just can't get on the same page, and it's been tough to see. Every single thing that R-Truth says, the Miz scoffs at him or doesn't take him seriously, and it's, as we've talked about, R-Truth knows what he's doing, and we wish that more people in the WWE would listen to him. So that's all I have to say about that. But I just wanted to emphasize again that R-Truth is one of the GOATs, and we wish the Miz was a better tag team partner to him, like a tag team partner and a better friend, because he deserves better than this.
The problem is, and I know we're only getting we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of what goes on backstage with these clips that they show on TV. This is just random moments that they're capturing. There's a lot more that we don't see, but it seems like every time they show the Miz and R-Truth backstage, it's R-Truth doing something. It's always R-Truth being the proactive one, trying to do something for the team. And then the Miz comes in and has some opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always when is the Miz ever doing something? It's never the Miz is doing something and R-Truth comes in and says something about it. It's always R-Truth being the proactive one. What does Miz do all day? He's just sitting around waiting for R-Truth to do something so he can give his opinion.
I think all the Miz
a lot of these people on our online in our comments.
Yeah. Everyone online is so scared to share their own opinions, but as soon as someone else makes a comment, they're the first one to jump in and call them out, say that they're wrong, call them ignorant or stupid. And I'm not going to go that far with the Miz, but I do think that, as a tag team, if you don't agree with all of R-Truth's takes, then talk about it backstage, and then you guys can come out together and make these calls or make these decisions. You guys are both longtime WWE superstars, but it seems like the Miz enjoys just hanging out, waiting for R-Truth to say something, and then stepping in and calling him out because he doesn't agree with it. And that's not what a tag team does. And I think we're tired of it because we've seen more significant for sure, but people in our comments who just wait for us to share our takes and then hate on us for it, even though 9 times out of 10 we know what's happening and we're right about what's going to happen in these matches. But people always just love to wait until someone else shares their comment and then try to tear them down for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just that goes back to Drew McIntyre. That's what he's doing all day too. It's a problem. Now that the Undertaker's gone, we need some sort of locker room leader. And Cody Rhodes hasn't stepped up and become that guy yet.
Mm-mm.
I know he's on SmackDown, but still, who's going to be the dude to step up on Raw? Is it Jey Uso?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Seth Rollins. He's gone. We don't know where he is.
Yep.
Who's going to step up and be that guy?
Yeah.
We need it. It's not Adam Pearce. It's got to be one of the wrestlers.
It's not. We need someone to be that dude. And it could be Braun Breaker. I know he's been causing chaos, but I think everyone's scared of him right now. So I think a little bit of whatever Braun Breaker says goes at this point until someone proves that they can beat him. I know everyone's been running away from big Braun Strowman, but he's too slow to actually chase anyone down, unfortunately. So his influence is good.
Yeah.
And all you got to do.
You think with legs that long, he could run a little faster, or have at least a little bit longer of a stride.
Yeah. I know. I don't think I've ever seen him actually have no feet on the ground at the same time. He's always speed walking around, which, as a 7-foot guy, that's effective. But if you're going to get up against WWE superstars, all these guys can fly around. So you gotta learn to pick both feet up and get a little speed in there, Braun Strowman, and then maybe some people respect you.
Yeah, and I he kind of reminds me of like an emperor penguin. He's like the big dog. He's the emperor, but he can't fly. All he can do is waddle around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if he spent more time, running sprints, maybe doing some hill sprints, stuff like that, instead of collecting Funko Pops and playing D&D.
Yeah.
He maybe, would be a little bit more athletic. I don't know. Like he just took a bunch of time off. I don't know what he was doing during that time. Probably playing Baldur's Gate. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the only thing we can do is to announce some more Funko Pops at the nearest GameStop, and hopefully his car will break down and he'll have to run over there, because I think that's the only way we're getting this dude mobile, unfortunately, because he's going to spend the rest of his time playing Dungeons and Dragons or whatever other, nerd games there is. He's going to make his little character run on his TV, but this dude himself isn't getting any cardio. So,
yeah, I think, JD McDonough definitely took the L in the ring, but on
1, 2, 3.
So that's why we call it Chokeslam Radio.
True. And that was another great episode this week. Tune in next week where I won't be here and viewership will inevitably go up.
And any final comments, Big Chase?
Yeah, the Gravedigger is going to kill it next week.
That would be
that's it. That's it for me. Make sure you go follow Chokeslam Radio and whatever. We're on Spotify and all that crap now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for that, for using that word.
CRA.
But, share our show with your family. Share our show with anyone.
Yeah.
Follow me at Big Chat.
Yeah.
It'll be hard. I'm running out of places for followers, so follow me while you still can.
Yeah. I know you guys see all our reels and TikToks because you guys love to comment on them and tell us that we're wrong. But while you're doing that, just hit the little follow button so that you see more of our stuff and you can keep telling us that we're wrong. And then we'll keep proving you wrong every week. I know that might be tough for your mental and physical health, but drink a Prime and you'll feel better.
Big Unknown, where do you stand on Palestine, Israel?
Don't let Chad Gable get involved.
This is a WWE podcast. We're going to discuss the WWE,
That's kind of the ultimate WWE if you think about it.
All I'm saying is if Chad Gable goes there, it's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
And with that, have a great night. Thank you for watching Chokeslam Radio, and may the power of the dead man be with you.
Yo, one more person, a dog.
Chokeslam that.
Seth Pope.
Thank you for joining us on this bone-chilling journey through the world of WWE. Join us next time on your favorite podcast app, or live Tuesday nights on YouTube, Instagram, and X. As the final bell tolls, remember to stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales from the crypt. Chokeslam that button and subscribe. Check out srotu.org and TRW15 on YouTube, or else. Until next time, may the power of the dead man be with you. Rest in